Take a deep breath and let the modern world fade away. We are descending through the layers of time, past the cities, past the ice ages, down to a moment 252 million years ago when the Earth almost stopped breathing. This is the end of the Permian. The world is quiet, too quiet. Imagine standing in a forest where no birds call and no insects hum. The air is thick, tasting of sulfur and ash from the massive volcanic eruptions in the Siberian traps. The sky is a bruised purple, permanently veiled by a haze that blocks the sun for months at a time. This was the Great Dying, a catastrophe that wiped out 96% of life in the oceans and nearly 70% on land. Below your feet, the ground is littered with the trunks of fallen spruce trees, killed by a rain that fell like acid. It is a world in waiting, a blank canvas of red dust and cooling stone. As the thousands of years turn into millions, the planet begins to heal, but it is a new kind of Earth. All the world's land has fused into one titanic supercontinent, Pangaea. Visualize this massive landmass stretching from the frozen north to the southern pole, surrounded by a single infinite ocean called Pangaea. Because the land is so vast, the center of the continent is a furnace. Huge mega-monsoons sweep across the plains, bringing seasonal rains that crack the parched earth. The landscapes are dominated by red beds, vast stretches of sandstone and shale, rusted to a deep, earthy crimson by the iron within the soil. The wind whistles through these red canyons, carrying the scent of dried dust and distant rain. There is a rhythm here, a slow geological heartbeat as the continent begins its long, slow process of tearing itself apart. In the shadow of dormant volcanoes, the first greens return. It starts in the floodplains where the water from the summer monsoons collects in shallow basins. Ferns begin to unfurl their delicate lace-like fronds from the red mud. Tall horsetails looking like giant stalks of green bamboo rise along the riverbanks, their segmented stems swaying in the heavy, warm breeze. These plants are the survivors, hardy and patient. Now listen closer. For millions of years, the only sounds were the crackle of fire and the boom of thunder. But now a new sound enters the soundscape. The first crickets have evolved. A soft, rhythmic chirping begins to fill the evening air, joined by the low-frequency drumming of stoneflies on the mossy bark. The world is no longer empty. It is an orchestra tuning its instruments for a symphony that will last for 165 million years. In the soft, cooling mud of a Triassic riverbank, something moves. It isn't a giant yet, but it is something entirely new. It is the first dinosaur. It steps out from the ferns, its small clawed feet leaving clear impressions in the wet earth. As the sun sets over the red horizon, painting the volcanic peaks in shades of gold and amber, the silence is broken. A soft, huffing breath, the sound of a creature that will one day rule the world. The age of the pioneers has begun. Now that the earth has begun to breathe again, move deeper into the shade of the towering ginkgo trees. The air here is cooler, smelling of damp earth and crushed pine needles. It is in these shadows that we meet the first true master of the new world, Eoraptor. Visualize a creature no larger than a fox, its body sleek and lean. It stands perfectly still, balanced on its powerful hind legs. Its tail stretches out behind it, acting as a living stabilizer. Unlike the heavy, sprawling reptiles of the past, Eoraptor is built for the hunt. Its eyes are large and forward-facing, catching every flicker of movement in the brush. Watch as it moves, a liquid, effortless stride. It doesn't drag its belly in the dust. It carries itself with a light, avian grace. This is the blueprint for the kings of the future. In its small, sharp teeth and agile frame, we see the echoes of the giants that will follow millions of years later. Listen to the silence between its breaths, a quiet, focused energy that defines the dawn of the dinosaur. As we follow the winding river deeper into the valley, the morning mist begins to rise, clinging to the stems of giant horsetails. Out of this white veil, a group of slender figures emerges. These are the Chylophyses. They do not travel alone. They move as a loose collective, a pack of shadows darting through the fog. Their bones are hollow, light as the bones of a bird, allowing them to sprint across the soft mud without sinking. Imagine the sound of their movement, a rhythmic soft clicking of claws against stone and the rustle of ferns as they pass. They are the embodiment of Triassic efficiency. Their long, flexible necks allow them to strike with the speed of a snake, catching insects or small lizards in the blink of an eye. There is a strange, mesmerizing beauty in their coordination. As the mist swirls around them, they seem to vanish and reappear, a ghostly reminder that the dinosaurs have claimed the forest as their own. Life in the early Triassic is a delicate dance of energy and rest. Even these early hunters must respect the heat of the midday sun. Follow a lone Chylophysis as it finds a sheltered spot beneath a massive moss-covered log. It settles down, tucking its long tail around its body, its golden eyes slowly blinking. The forest around it is alive with the sounds of a recovering planet. You can hear the distant, low-frequency hum of dragonflies with wingspans like dinner plates, and the steady dripping of water from the canopy above. The dinosaur's chest rises and falls in a slow, steady rhythm. In this moment of rest, there is no fear, only the deep instinctual peace of a creature perfectly adapted to its environment. The heat of the afternoon sun is a warm weight, pressing down on the forest, lulling every living thing into a state of quiet contemplation. The sun begins its long descent, casting golden streaks of light through the dense canopy of the Araucaria trees. This is the hour of the Eoraptor. Larger and more formidable than its cousins, Eoraptor represents the next step in the evolution of power. It moves with a heavy, deliberate grace. Each footfall is a soft thud that resonates through the soil. It is a creature of the twilight, its dappled skin blending perfectly with the shifting patterns of light and shadow on the forest floor. It pauses by a clear pool of water, its reflection shimmering on the surface. As it lowers its head to drink, the only sound is the gentle lapping of water and the distant call of a primitive amphibian. The world is at a crossroads. The small pioneers have laid the foundation, and the giants are waiting in the wings. As the first stars appear over the jagged peaks of Pangaea, the hunters of the dawn find their peace. The forest settles into a deep ancient quiet, ready for the millions of years of growth that lie ahead. As the era of the small, swift hunters reaches its peak, the very ground beneath the ferns begins to tremble with a new, deeper frequency that resonates through the soles of your feet. We are entering the late Triassic, a time of grand experimentation where the shadows grow longer and the figures within them grow taller, signaling a shift in the hierarchy of the prehistoric wild. Imagine a vast, sun-drenched clearing where the giant horsetails part to reveal the Plateosaurus, a gentle giant that signals the true beginning of the age of saurians. It moves with a slow, rhythmic dignity, its long neck reaching high into the canopy of a conifer tree to strip away the resinous needles, the sound of its chewing a steady rhythmic crunch that blends into the ambient drowsy hum of the forest. This is no longer a world of just scuttling pioneers. It is a world of incredible scale and ambition. Beside a vast prehistoric lake reflecting the violet and bruised orange hues of a setting sun, the massive Rheosaurus lumbers toward the water's edge, its heavy weight creating deep rhythmic splashes that echo across the still, glassy surface like a heartbeat. The air is thick with the scent of blooming cycads and the low-frequency vibrations of distant tectonic shifts, a reminder that the supercontinent of Pangaea is beginning its slow million-year journey of breaking apart into the worlds we recognize today. Every breath you take is filled with the warmth of the cooling earth, as the heat of the day radiates from the red sandstone cliffs. As the twilight deepens into a true ancient night, the sounds of the Triassic begin to soften and blur together, the rhythmic rustle of the small predators settling into the brush, the heavy, contented sighs of the long-necked herbivores, and the distant crackling thunder of a volcanic ridge miles away. The dinosaurs have not just survived the long aftermath of the Great Dying, they have conquered it with a quiet, undeniable persistence, claiming every valley, river, and forest as their own eternal kingdom. Lean into the deep, heavy stillness of this moonlit world, feeling the cool night air settle over the landscape where the first stars of the Jurassic are already beginning to shine bright and clear, signaling that the story of the giants is just starting to unfold in the dark. Sleep now, drifting away on the steady pulse of the ancient earth, knowing that the dawn of the Triassic has passed, and a new, even grander era is waiting just beyond the horizon of your dreams.